Welcome to the Building Wealth with No Borders podcast with me, Lamide Elizabeth, where I'll be interviewing guests from around the world to share their strategies for building wealth. And today we are in Dubai with Gift, who was the first female delivery driver in the Middle East and is now someone who owns a multi-million-dollar real estate company, which is insane. So welcome to the podcast, Gift.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Okay, the first question I want to ask you is, what brought you from Nigeria to Dubai?
I want to use the word jackpot. But yeah, just kidding. Anyways, obviously, I was in Nigeria and I was looking for green pasture. Life there was okay, but not great. And my parents has been someone that's always been supportive. So now I'm going to be mentioning parents a lot. So now you understand where the answer's coming from, right? So my parents, they've always been supportive and got to a stage where they couldn't financially really provide. So I was like, you know what? I feel like it's time to give back. So I had to go somewhere. Dubai wasn't really the first choice because for me, it was just the fastest visa to get. So yeah, I came because I wanted to support my family and I wanted to be financially responsible for myself and my family as well.
What was your first choice?
First choice would everyone's dream. I want to go to the US.
Okay. And what did you used to do in Nigeria beforehand? Like, did you study? Was you working?
To be honest, I feel like I shouldn't say this out loud, but I never worked a day in my life in Nigeria. I didn't used to work because my parents were really, really there for me.
Okay.
And in Nigeria, the income and then the money you get as a salary is like really low. And for me, I just like, I was going through school. I was in school when I had to leave. So I wasn't really working. I was just like studying and working and getting funds for my parents to survive.
What was you studying?
So I was doing business management back in school. Okay. I dropped out though.
Were you into business at this point or why did you choose that degree?
So then growing up with my strong mom, she's like a jack of all trades. She works a lot. She's a business person to the core. So I saw her actually struggling and then she was doing business, but I felt like there's a better way to do it if you studied it. So I just wanted to be like but in a better way. So I thought of business management to be able to do it well in the papers and also practically because I felt like I've really seen how work the practical part. So I wanted to study it.
Right. Okay. So your mum was kind of running a business, but you knew she wasn't running it efficiently. Yes, so you wanted to kind of like study, get the theory and then apply it. Okay, cool. And so then what was life like when you then first landed in Dubai?
So when I got to Dubai, well, my story is something very interesting because before I left, I was actually like everyone, Dubai, we've always seen Dubai on the news, online, to be this fancy and beautiful city that everyone wants to come to. When I got to Dubai, I was like expecting that, obviously.
Yeah.
And because my parents, I was born into a family of 6. I'm the first girl and 4th child, right? So I had older brothers, which means most of them, they were very protective. Oh, Gift, why are you coming to Dubai? We heard Dubai is not for working. So why do you have someone there? So all these questions made me start looking for agents or people that can actually help me get a job. So before I came, I was already in touch with an agent that was supposed to help me. So I felt like I packed my bag, sold pretty much everything like not like I had much though. So I just came and I was thinking, okay, everything is sorted out. Jobs, like the job was there and everything was going to just go out from there. But on reaching Dubai, I realized the reverse was the case. There was no job. I got into Dubai. I feel like a lot of people have heard this $300 story a lot because I got into Dubai with just $300, nothing else, my bags. And when I came, there was no job. And Dubai wasn't where I landed. I landed in Sharjah.
Oh.
Yes. So obviously I was like,
this is not
this is not the place that I had in mind. But then obviously life happened and it was a struggle from there, from trying to get a job, from traveling from Sharjah to Dubai every time I have interviews, to getting series of working interviews because at the end of the day, I wanted to work, right? So I would always come from Sharjah to Dubai to get interviews done. And it wasn't easy, to be honest. It was a journey that I know a lot of people are going through right now. And it's not an easy one. But at the end of the day, it will all end in praise, yeah.
Was there a particular job or industry that you wanted to get a job in?
When I was coming, I was looking at getting into, obviously, I wanted, because I knew, to be honest, because before I left home, I had to drop out, right? I didn't finish my studies. So I was hoping to get like an admin job. I don't know where the idea came from. I was like, I want to get an admin job, maybe something in customer service, because I realized, okay, I couldn't do higher jobs or like maybe getting into finance or whatever. But then I was like, you know what, at least a receptionist. I wasn't dreaming so hard, to be honest, when I got here. I just wanted to like receptionist, customer service, customer service in an actual office.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then that wasn't the case. I realized that it wasn't really forthcoming because you need a lot of experience to get there. And this time I was just willing to do anything. Like I was going for interviews for cleaning jobs. I was going for interviews for sometimes like waitress. Waitress was a luxury job back then. I was going for those kind of interviews like just to get something. But I don't know how they do it. You get into an interview for a cleaning job and you fail. How does one fail cleaning job?
Exactly. What else do I need?
So regarding job expectations, I was looking for something that would make me dress nice and just be in the front desk. But that wasn't what I got. But yeah.
Okay. So then what was the first job you eventually did get?
So after 6 months of searching, they were like, Dubai visa would always give you 3 months, right?
Yeah.
So after 3 months, I'll go home. And then don't forget, I told my parents I already got a job in Dubai before I came. Yes, because that was the only way they would let me travel.
Oh, so before you actually left, you told them that you had a job?
Because the agent I was talking to told me I had a job. So when I got here, that wasn't the case. There are days where because I realized they would tell me to come back home if I don't actually have a job. Like if they know. So I would always like, Mommy, when they call me, every time they call me, I'm always available. So they start asking me a question. Gifts, you're always picking the calls.
Are you busy?
Are you busy? Yes, that's the voice. So sometimes they'll call me, I'll be sleeping, I'll stand up. Mommy, I'm at work, let me call you back. Yeah, so rest in peace. So I would always like lie like that. But then eventually, after 6 months of searching, I got something, a customer care representative. Let me not call it customer care. Let me not butter it. It's a phone operator. So pretty much in a pizza company where I was helping in the kitchen, making pizzas, helping sometimes clean. And I was taking orders for clients. Actually, it's still customer care, but yeah.
Yeah. At that point, did you feel like, oh my God, is this the Dubai that I left for? Or was you feeling like, okay, cool, I have a job now, this is good?
To be honest, after 6 months of searching, I was fulfilled. I felt happy. I would take pictures of my uniform. And then I would send home. I was proud. But obviously the living situation wasn't what I expected because you know how housing is expensive.
Yes.
And as at the time I was living with 8 people in a room, I couldn't even afford the down bed. It was like top because that was
there's even different prices.
Oh, okay. You don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. So the top one are usually cheaper and then the down one because you're comfortable. The down one you can have like curtains. And then the top one is like top bed, nothing. So I was staying on the top bed before. So,
but this is honestly on my side of things. This is the side of Dubai that I don't know about. Like you don't really see, right?
Do you want to experience it?
No, but you can tell me. You can tell me, but I don't want to experience. So you're living with 8 other people, other Africans. Who are these people?
No. So they were mixed. I feel like then I had 2 Africans, but then they were no Nigerians, 1 Kenyan and 1 Cameroonian, and then the rest of them were Indians. And
and what jobs were they doing?
Some of them were still searching. And because I remember that when I was searching, I was like, you know what, I need to go somewhere that people has a job, so they will motivate me. I will ask them to introduce me to their HRs and stuff like that. But then over time, I realized everybody's just working. Some people are nannies. Some of them are working in like different field and industries. So set 8 people in a room and we had 3 rooms.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And then we had 2 washrooms, 1 in the masters and then 1 everybody has to share. So you have to wake up early to take your bath if you're going to work. So can you imagine 8 in a room?
Wow.
X3.
Would you say that situation was worse than what you left Nigeria for?
Living situation or 100%? Because I did have a room. I had a room with my sister. So living situation was poor. People call me on video calls. I'm always in the kitchen because that's the only place that doesn't have the bunk bed view. So I would go to the kitchen and they were like, Gift, you're always cooking. I was like, yeah. I try to make myself busy when I'm on a video call. Like, okay, kitchen is free. And sometimes people walk in. I'm like, it's okay. So my flatmates.
And is it because there was like, you didn't want them to know the actual situation you was in because they'd tell you to come back home? Or was it like a personal pride thing? Like, why? What did you not want them to see?
For me, it was a pride thing, I'm not going to lie. Because my friends, they're like, Gift, you're in Dubai. They were expecting a lot. And trust me, there are days where I rock my day-to-day stuff, like clothes I buy from day-to-day. Do you know day-to-day?
No.
You don't.
No, what's day to day?
Wow. Okay. It's like a 1 to 10 shop where you buy clothes, shoes, and it's like really affordable. So 1 to 10. So
What does that
everything you
mean?
buy means
1 to 10 dirhams.
10 dirhams.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Shout out to Day Today because they helped me rock Dubai. So yeah.
So what, you can buy like nice
clothes, shoes.
Okay.
I'll dress up. I'll look fly, take pictures, post. So they expected so they don't want to see where I live. So for me, it was a pride thing. And I remember one of my friends, then she came to Dubai. She was hoping to stay with me. And when she came, I had to tell her before she came. I was like, babe, you need to pay for where you stay because you can't sleep with someone on the bed. You have to. So she's like, gift. I was like, babes, this is how it is. You have to pay for your own bed. So she was the one. So when she came, she visited. She loved everything else, but the room she didn't like. And she got home. She told all my friends that, oh, gift is staying in the bed. That was a low moment for me. Hurt my pride. But yeah.
Okay, so then how did you end up in the delivery driver role?
All right, so I was working in the same company, and obviously it's a food delivery company where I had series I was working with them over in my store. We had 36 drivers, like delivery drivers. So I would always see them. I worked with them. I was working closely. After some time, I got promoted to supervisor in the same place. So, but then the salary, I would see these guys, they earn more than even the supervisors because they get tips.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, they'll come, sister, this month I make this amount. I'm like, really? You made this much? They'll say yes. So I started thinking okay, I usually do the night shift. So sometimes at night, they'll bring their bikes up. And I'll be like, how do you start this? So I started taking interest. The honest truth was I saw the tips and the money that they were getting. And I personally, I like to interact with people. So I was like, you know what? I like this idea. I didn't think I liked it back then until we had a conference where we'd have all the employees of the company come together every now and then. So the CEO was like, you know what? We're a company that's growing. We're diversifying. We don't mind. So if there's any lady, if you know any lady or you are any lady that wants to be a bike rider, we are like that. We are open like that. We don't mind. And they said, does anyone? And I raised my hand. So I was like, yeah, I want to do it. Are you serious? So they said they were going to give me an all expense paid to get a license.
Right.
So the company helped out with that. I got everything, learned from here. It took me a while to get the license, but I did got it. And then that was how delivery
driver started. Were you not scared?
Initially I was, but then when I thought about the tips, and I obviously thought about, generally I love adventures, right? So when I started, there are some areas I wouldn't go there. Sometimes I'll get somewhere, I'll call my drivers. The roads are too big, I'll park somewhere, they will have to come get me.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Well, after some time, I got used to the roads and then I started driving and living freely.
So then when did it change? When did things start to transition? What was that journey? Obviously, a lot of the people who be watching this, they don't know your story, right? So
correct.
Tell us a bit more about that.
All right. So then when I was delivering, obviously, and I realized I was still dressing on my day-to-day clothes every now and then, right? So on my day off, I love to take pictures. I love to go out. So every month, I would always treat myself to one nice Burj Khalifa or one nice place. I'll take pictures and I'll post it. So everybody, no one knew that I was working in this kind of place or I was delivering food. Because at the end of the day, I never thought it was something to be proud of till obviously Dubai recognized me and then they appreciated it. So for me, it was just a job that is not
picture worthy.
You understand? So I would always go out and take pictures. So I started doing that. And sometimes most of my friends from home, they'll be like, Gift, you're enjoying Dubai. When I come, you take me around. So it became a thing. People started introducing me to people. And I started okay. So one time, a friend of mine had his family here and I took them around. So when they were leaving, the same $300 again, they gave me in the airport. I was like, Jesus, this is almost like I have my salary. So I saw the $300. I was like, this can actually be a business, you know?
Okay.
So I started Dubai Getaway Travels, which is my company that I registered back in Nigeria.
Okay.
And then I started you know what? I would outsource from people here. I would bring people to Dubai. On my day off, I would do all of that. I had tour guides that I obviously work with other companies with. So they would always come to Dubai. I would be in the store. I'll be messaging, brother, this person wants to go to Burj Khalifa. He wants to go here. So I was managing all that from my actual job.
Right. So you were still working in the delivery as a delivery driver. But then people who were coming from Nigeria to Dubai, you was running a tour, travel.
Yes.
Wow.
So I started doing that. I was like, okay. I did that for a couple of times and I realized my salary was only giving me 40% of my income. because my clientele increased and everything was like really cool because I had so many people. They would come, I'll tell them, hey brother, tell them you're from Dubai Getaway Travels. They would actually say that. And I had an Instagram page where I'd always post my client's experience. Looking back now, I wonder how I did that. So after some time, I realized a lot of people were coming in and they were actually dignitaries. They were people that are actually okay, comfortable.
Quite high,
yeah. So one time I had a client that came in and he bought properties here in Dubai. Okay. And he was like, they would always call me, Gift, can you help me check this? Can you help me do this? Can you help me go and take the key from these people? And I realized I was doing the job of an agent.
Right.
Without actually being an agent. So I got a friend of mine that was working with a developer back then. And he's like, Gift, do you know you can actually make money on commission if you introduce your clients? So I started. So my first deal, I did a referral. I didn't know it was a lot of money. They obviously didn't give me a lot of like the actual commission, what I got for myself and the kind of job I was doing, how much I was earning. That was like, wow.
Okay, so at this point, so are you still doing a delivery driver?
Yes.
You're a delivery driver. You're running Dubai Getaway.
Yes.
And now you've made your first
referral deal.
Are you still living in this 8-bed room?
Now or then?
Then, at that point.
Then I stopped living there. I was staying, now we were 4.
Okay, reduced a little bit.
So now we're 4 in the room. And after some time, there was a time we were 3. Because over time, we'll be like, oh my God, I can't wait to be staying in a room where I'll be sharing with one person. It will be amazing. So the dream grew.
Yeah.
But one thing I've always done is I didn't start living alone till I was like really comfortable.
Right.
Because for me, it was just a money decision. Like I felt like I could do something else with the money. So even when I was doing all that, I started renting out apartments to people as well. At some point, I would stay in my living room and I'll rent out the room to people. This time, I actually could afford to get a 1-bed for myself. But I'll still rent out the room and live in the living room. But because it wasn't because I couldn't afford that, it was because obviously
you're still building.
I still building. So that's how I transitioned into real estate part-time.
Okay, so then when did you quit the delivery driver job?
Okay, so in 2020, I realized my clientele expand and a lot of people wanted to come in, combined with the fact that I was doing real estate on the side as well. Not fully, but then referrals. And I made a little bit of money. So I started feeling proud. So I started feeling like, because I realized I was like, okay, you know what? It's gone past the stage where I feel like I can actually do without my salary. Obviously, the time I was riding was amazing. I was meeting a lot of people, and thanks to Dubai, they recognized me as this person, the first female delivery rider. When I started, I wasn't thinking about being the first. I never thought it would be something that they would celebrate. And then we started getting series of interviews, and then different news were taking my stories back at home. I was recognized. And then,
but you were still delivery driving at this time?
Yes.
Okay.
So I did that for like almost, so all together on the job, I did 6 years with them.
Wow.
Yeah. 2015 to 2020/2021.
Okay.
So then I left. Finally, I'm like, it wasn't easy because the company, they pretty much made me, like they gave me the opportunity to like, obviously get a job. I appreciate the company a lot because I got a job from them. And also I was able to get credibility. People started knowing me. Everything
you built your brand.
Yes.
You started building your brand.
At some point I was even getting people to tell me, give post this. I was like, okay, I'm an influencer now. So yeah, after that, I'm like, okay, I feel like it's time to go. And it's been, at the end of the day, when I got to Dubai, I thought I would only do 2 years and I would get a US visa and I would.
Okay.
9 years down the line, I love Dubai.
So then when did you set up your own real estate brokerage?
Yeah. So when I left the company, I started like doing freelancing, like being an agent full time.
Okay.
Like obviously bringing people, and I also registered my company back in Nigeria, Giffy Realty.
Oh, okay. So you registered it in Nigeria. Why?
Yes, because I needed to operate as an international real estate firm.
Oh,
so which was allowed. So Dubai real estate developers, they allow international companies. So you can close your deals. You can operate as an international business channel partner with them. So I was operating as such. And after some time, I realized, okay, I live here. Everything is going great. So let me register my company. So I did register my company here.
As well.
Yeah. And then since then, it's been amazing.
And how did you go about growing your that real estate clientele.
Yeah. So from the travels really helped me a lot because I got a lot of clients from the travels, because at the end of the day, people that travels, they come to Dubai, simply means there's an opportunity to actually sell something else. So for me, it's pretty much been transitioning. So from being a rider to being someone that takes pictures on the streets on a day off, to someone that started outsourcing, to register my own company and then transferring my clients to real estate investors. And all the entire journey was like, obviously I was getting interviews, I was getting a lot of attentions, and people trust the brand. They love my story and they love me because obviously I've built a brand from
ground up.
They're like this. So they started just patronizing. And I remember my first deal, like this time not as a introducer, this time as like
an actual
agent.
Yeah.
Closing my first deal, I was like, Jesus Christ, really?
Money.
The money. And for me now, it's more of, I love the fulfillment of helping people, because at the end of the day, knowing the market, the Dubai real estate market, and knowing that is actually a good investment for people, the fact that everything is guaranteed, return on investment, ease, capital appreciation, ease. And at the end of the day, the exchange rate as well. Because if you're investing here, the money you obviously get when you convert it to your local currency is like higher. And it's just amazing in general. So increasing or like building my real estate company is something that I take pride in. I love it. And I don't just see myself as an agent. I see myself because at the end of the day, people are investing hundreds of dirhams, millions of dirhams, because two reasons they want to invest. They want to invest to create generational wealth, and they want to get a home for their family. And that's a very important role. So I feel like sometimes real estate agents, people don't really know how much we do and how much we are involved in your life, because these are two very important decisions. You probably get married, buy your dream home. So yeah.
This is like, I feel like this story is so amazing because this is like a lot of people's dream, right? This is like in so many different levels, like this is what a lot of people want the story to be, but for a lot of people that it's not the case. Like, what do you think it was about you that you think it's luck? Do you feel like it's the prayers? Do you feel like, I feel like there's also like a Nigerian spirit that we have, that
Yes,
like, what do you think it was?
For me, first is God. God has always been with me from like every step of the way. Like at the end of the day, a lot of people they have this opportunity that I have. Some of them, they're in more better rooms that I've been in, right? But for me, two things, God, and the other one is I was always seeing an opportunity where people see something else.
Right.
So I was
like
always
mindset,
ready. I was like, you know what? This is an opportunity. I want to grab it. There are some people that has travel company, but they don't do real estate.
Right.
Right. So for me, I was always ready. I was always like, and the fact that I know where I come from. And my family, I like to say they're my responsibility because they've sacrificed so much for me, like so much, and I wanted to give back. So that drive of not wanting to stay poor kept me going.
So you're no longer at day to day.
I go there sometimes, but not to shop for clothes. Yeah, but then I was telling my colleague the other day, I was like, I went there because sometimes they have good stuff, like the those decoration and stuff, like for office. I go there sometimes. I was like, I go there. Because I parked somewhere else and I had to use the metro to exit to day to day. I was carrying the day to day bag. I was like, maybe someone will see me now. But yeah, at the end of the day, the story has changed. Amazing. God has been faithful. And it's not because I work the hardest. Yes, obviously I put in a lot of work. Trust me. A lot of work. I sacrificed a lot, like enjoying partying, obviously. And then just because I want to be this person. There are some, most of my friends, they don't know where I live. And it's been like, one of my friends I spoke to, she's like, you don't like people coming to your house. You like someone comes to your house when you want to, because it's something that's been in my head since when I was living in the best space. Because I cannot afford to have visitors in. So even now when I'm living obviously comfortably, it's almost like, what, I'm in my space. When they come, I actually forget gifts. You can actually host 10 friends comfortably, right? But at the end of the day, it is being there, and I'm grateful to God. And yeah, pretty much my advice for anyone aspiring, I feel like it's a journey, And me sitting here today, everything made me. The bed space made me. The bed space, the days where I eat just noodles, chai and paratas. There are days like that where my meal would just be chai and parata. I don't know if you know that.
I don't.
Oh my goodness. You're missing. Okay, you know what? I feel like you should try those things. Parata and chai, amazing. So there are days where my dinner will probably cost like 5 dirhams.
Okay.
So all those things made me to be, because right now, if I meet any client or anybody, I can relate to every story.
At every stage.
Yes.
Okay.
I hope you guys are enjoying this content. If you are, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. If you're committed to building wealth with no borders and want to invest in a property in the UK or in Dubai, feel free to send an email to lamideelizabeth@gmail.com and I'll be sure to help you. If you're not quite ready to invest yet, check out the affordable video courses down below that will teach you more about property investing and money management. And if you're thinking of relocating to Dubai, setting up your business, breaking into certain industries, getting a visa, check out the Professional Network. The link will be below.
Now let's get into real estate in Dubai. What are some reasons why someone who is watching this should invest in real estate in Dubai?
The question should be, why shouldn't they?
Oh, okay. Can you answer that one?
But yes. Well, obviously, because Dubai is... So I don't want to sound very sentimental, because Dubai has made me, right? And for investors out there, it gives you great return on investment. And then the fact that capital appreciation is always there, which means if you're investing in a project today, in a year time, what you're getting for the value or the capital that like appreciations you're getting is high. And plus, Dubai is a tax. You don't get property tax. You don't buy property and pay tax. And that's just amazing. So for people investing or people looking to invest in Dubai, let's see Dubai as an organization, right? Dubai is actually somewhere that they have millions of tourists that comes into Dubai every year, right? And one thing that's always in demand is housing. Everyone wants to go to Dubai. The US, everyone, they wants to come to Dubai. Dubai is somewhere that, you know what? You see someone very rich, you're like, why are you planning? I really want to go to Dubai with my family. So the people that comes into Dubai, they constantly need housing. Even though there are hotels right now, people are starting to look like, I want to go somewhere that's home away from home. I want to be able to cook. So the real estate sector is actually catering for all that. And Dubai is a stable city, very stable. I feel like it's one of the top 3 stable cities in the world. So yeah, investing in Dubai is amazing, and it's something that someone or anyone that's watching this should definitely tap into.
I completely agree. And I feel like, especially even if you're in somewhere like Nigeria, like we've seen what has happened to the Naira, you cannot like be trying to build wealth in Nigeria and keep all of your money in Naira. Like it doesn't make sense. Like, and there are many other African countries, other countries as well, even outside of Africa, where you ideally want to be stashing your money away in an economy, in a currency that is stable. So not only is it a way for you to even just make money in terms of like the returns that you're going to get from capital appreciation, from, rental yields, but then also just protecting your wealth as well by putting it into a stable country, a stable currency would go a very, very, very long way. So I'd highly, highly recommend people. That's something that I'm quite passionate about as well. Like build wealth across borders, man. And I feel like us Nigerians were good at doing that. And some countries, they'll cuss us and say, oh, you guys never like to stay in your country. You're always going. But yeah, because there are so many, there is opportunities outside of your own country. And even if you're in a place like the UK or the US, like you can be that person who is the bridge between Dubai and the US. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can create these bridges if you just get up and just leave and look for opportunities elsewhere. But I want to ask you a question that I think that a lot of people who might be skeptical about investing in Dubai might say. So they might say that the value of the properties here are overpriced because it's just a hot place right now and they feel like the market is in a bubble and it's going to burst, and so they're waiting. What would you say to someone who has that question?
Okay, so first, regarding Dubai being the most expensive city, I don't think it is, right? Because there are cities like Singapore, the UK, considering what you get in those countries and what you get here. Dubai, I won't say way cheaper, but then Dubai is reasonably less expensive, right? And then regarding the bubble, if you're thinking, okay, Dubai is a bubble, people have been saying this, or people have been talking about this for the longest time. But would you rather invest in somewhere that you're not going to get returns, capital appreciation, or you want to take a risk? At the end of the day, not taking a risk is a risk, right? And then Dubai, I don't think Dubai is going down anytime soon. Have you seen the people behind? Like, we have rulers, leaders that has like dreams, ambitions of making Dubai the number one city in the world when you think of investment. And these people work tirelessly. For a country, I don't know if you heard or people seen the flood that happened recently.
Yeah.
A country that came back so fast. For investors, I feel like that is where you should be investing in. Don't invest in somewhere you feel like that is safe. You should invest in somewhere that if they have challenges, how do they react to it? How long does it take them to react to it? So being a bubble is what people are always gonna, well, it's a bubble, okay. It's a bubble, but is it bursting anytime soon? No. Is it something you want to wait till it bursts before you jump on?
You never know when that's going to happen.
You never know, because at the end of the day, even the infograph that was recently released, we saw that Dubai is like the list in the top. It's not even the top 15. It's like the second to last cities in the world that the bubble is going to burst anytime soon. So at the end of the day, Dubai is just, this is me talking about Dubai, not from the girl that Dubai obviously has given a lot.
Yeah.
But as someone that sells Dubai as an ambassador of the city, I would say Dubai is somewhere that has a lot of potentials. Because you've seen what they've done from years ago, like the last 10 years. Dubai is constantly, my friend got in a couple of days ago. She's like, Gift, 6 months ago, this was not here. Dubai never sleeps.
That's so true.
So yeah, so I feel like, no, people shouldn't be skeptical about investing in Dubai, because at the end of the day, they're working and it's showing. So yeah.
Have you seen any, or do you have any like crazy success stories or like crazy like flip stories of people like investing in real estate in Dubai, just so that like the viewers can kind of get an example of like, okay, maybe this person bought X amount and then in 3 years, 4 years, maybe they flipped it for something like that, just so that they can get like a bit more of like a practical example of like, okay, what can you actually, because I've heard some crazy stories of how people were able to flip properties in Dubai. So yeah, do you have any of those kind of stories that you could share?
Yeah, I have a client that got a property in Benghazi, Luna, in 2021, right? And the property was valued at 573,000 dirhams. And right now, in that same property, the renters are currently around 75 to 80,000, which is above 11 to 12%
Yield.
Like yields every year. And on top of that, if the client wants to sell right now, it's currently valued around 1.1, 1.150. And this is me being like conservative, right? And I personally, like I said, I have done a lot of investment myself. I had the property that I got in 2022 for 530 something dirhams. And right now, I like to do that. Like, sometimes I even tell my clients, I offer them a chance to give them a free evaluation of their property. Not because they want to sell, but because I just want them to know what's happening in the market and how much their properties are currently worth. There are properties that I invested in like years ago, and right now it's like minimum 950,000 dirhams. So if we're talking about 5, you're almost getting a 50% in less than 3 years. So there are crazy like deals like this, properties in the market that comes sometimes. And Benghazi, personally, I like them because they are developers or flippers. You can get a property for this amount, and in less than 2 years, you're selling for minimum with 40%. I'm not banking, I'm not promising that, you can get. But at the end of the day, investing in the right property matters, and working with obviously a trusted broker that you know that would advise you on the best property to invest in actually. And location. A lot of people like to I want to invest here, but sometimes investing in developing community. Have you been to JVC?
I've driven through.
Oh, I love JVC. I live in JVC, and JVC before now used to be somewhere I frown out. I don't want to stay there. It's too empty. But right now, the amount of development going on there and the way investors are getting a lot of appreciation is wild.
I've heard.
Because they pretty much entered when it was like 400, 450. And right now, the value there is like 1.1, 1 million. So the city is developing. At the end of the day, wouldn't you want to invest in a country that works? Or a city that works?
That's a very good question. So what is like the JVC of today? What are the areas would you say that like, okay, this is like the hotspot, and like if you hold on to a property there in 5 years, you would have doubled what you invested or whatever?
Without thinking, JVC would always JVC
still there.
Dubai Land, Maidan. We have communities like that. And then the likes of Dubai Hills, Damak Hills, it's something else.
Up and coming.
So now, without thinking, if you're an investor, you want to invest in Dubai, go for, especially when you're just starting.
Yeah.
I always advise my first-time investors to go for a developing community.
Okay.
That way you're able to grow with them, and which means you can maximize the capital appreciation as well as the rental yields. And the good thing about Dubai is every location has its own market. There are people that just come to tell you, Gifts, I don't like the likes of downtown. It's amazing. They'll tell you, I want to stay somewhere quiet. I want to stay somewhere like Dubai Hills. I want to stay somewhere like Damak, or somewhere like Dubai Land that's not so crowded.
Right.
But right now, those places are becoming the new Dubai. So yeah, so if you're thinking of investing, I'd advise first-time investors to invest in a developing community. While if you're adding to your portfolio, yes, you can go for townhouses because that's the gold mile.
Yeah. Okay, that's really, really helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, final question before we go into our final question. This is a little bit off topic, but like as a Nigerian, do you find that you face any additional hurdles? I guess because you're working with Nigerians, maybe not so much. But you know, sometimes Nigerians have a reputation that it enters the room before we do. That, you know, scam, 419. Like, I even had someone, like a driver here, telling my co-founder, like, oh, you know, be careful of Nigerians. And she was like, oh, like my business partner is Nigerian. They're like, oh, no, I'm sure she's fine. I'm like, I haven't even, you don't even know me already, you know, warning someone about me. So have you faced any of that, like here? And like, if you have, like, how would you like deal with that?
To be honest, if I say no, I'm going to be lying, because obviously it's something that's always been there, and I feel like would always be, because sometimes our reputation goes before us. Well, what we just need to do is, for me, I faced it. I'm not going to lie. I have faced it. And the only thing you need to do is prove them wrong. Because there are days where they'll be like, oh, don't work with Nigerian. When you come as nothing, where are you from? Nigerian. You need to work twice as hard to prove that you're actually trustworthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, you just have to keep going and being honest. And you need to not prove them right. Like, don't prove them right. Because at the end of the day, every nationality has its own.
Yeah.
But it's just that we Nigerians, I don't know how we do it. We tend to like publish, or we tend to like focus on the negative part. There are a lot of Nigerians doing amazingly well.
So
in
good.
Different field. I mean, just take a look at us. Right? So a lot of Nigerians are doing so well, but sometimes the thing is always going to be there. But how do we walk around it? That's what is important. Do we go and then defraud people to make them feel like, I said it, I wasn't going to work with a Nigerian? Or do we be like, oh, that my realtor, that my friend is actually different. Right? So it's how you walk around it that's important. So being a Nigerian, it has its perks as well. I mean, we are very ambitious people.
Very.
We have an amazing drive that actually makes us stand out. Because before now, I used to walk into the room when I told them I'm Nigerian, I feel like, oh, they don't like me. But right now, it's like the other way around. I walk into a room and I wonder if I like you. So it's not
Come on.
no, and it doesn't come from, obviously being successful. It comes from accepting who I am.
Yeah.
And learning to own it, because at the end of the day, we have something, we have a drive.
Right.
And that's never going to be taken away. So people doing the wrong stuff, so I hope things changes. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and we just have to work around it.
Okay, so now we are going to be moving on to the Woe segment, where some of you guys have submitted some of your financial or money-related dilemmas, and our guest is going to be answering it today. So I'm going to read it for you. Okay. So the person says, I just found out that my boyfriend of 6 months 100% financially supports his mother and grandmother. As someone who is against this and focused on holding wealth for my kids and myself, I don't know if this is a deal breaker. What should I do? So I wanted to ask you, because I feel like when I was growing up, obviously I grew up in the UK. My mom was born in the UK, but she had a lot of responsibilities back home. So she was someone who would frequently, you know, send money back home. That, for us as the children, we hated it, because anytime we wanted something, it's like, I don't have money. She would send money back home. I'm at the point now where like all of my family, my cousin, my mom, everyone's in the UK. So I don't have that obligation. So I'm reading this and I'm thinking, maybe this boyfriend might have that kind of obligation. And you also, as someone who recently, well, not recently, but you also relocated from, you know, Nigeria to Dubai. I'm sure people have that expectation of you. So what are your thoughts on this? What would your advice be?
To be honest, without thinking, my first thing would be like, girl, you need to let him send the money. To be honest, right? But then generally it depends on how she perceives how often. But then when it comes to mom and a son relationship, you can't really come between that. And at the end of the day, our moms, our parents generally, they sacrifice a lot for us to be wherever we are. Depends. And by the way, I don't know where the boy is from or the guy is from.
Yeah.
If he's from Africa, you're lucky it's his mom that is sending money, not his generational like cousins.
And everybody else.
Yeah. But then for me, I would say it shouldn't be a deal breaker because at the end of the day, mom is always going to be a mom, and sending money home you should be worried if the guy is not taking care of his mom or his family. You should be worried. So if you're seeing a guy like that, obviously not 100% of his income, because at the end of the day, that's where financial planning comes to play, right?
Yeah.
You send what you need to send, take care of your bills, and obviously take care of your girl, right? But yeah. For me, he needs to send the money home.
Yeah. I kind of agree. I feel like at the end of the day, when you're building wealth, when you're thinking about like money, and a lot of people's goal with like wanting to be successful is to take care of their parents. Like, obviously, like there's a burden. I don't know if you've heard of the phrase like the black tax.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's a burden. And I think that there are some parents and some families who like put too much of a burden on people. And it's like, I need to be in a good position myself to be able to take care of you. But like, I mean, it doesn't sound like she just found out, right? So it's not like while she was dating him, like maybe he never had money for anything. You're just now finding out now. So that means he might not have been in a bad position for you to even notice. And like that might be like one of his financial goals, to be able to support his mom and his grandmother. But then I also understand in the sense that like, now you're building your own family. Like you do want that to kind of be the priority. But I don't know how you can tell someone like, stop sending money to your mom.
If he's African, they'll tell you, you gotta go. Because at the end of the day, yeah, but it is what it is though. But then, yeah, I feel like mom is always going to be a mom. Yeah. And it needs to financially plan and have a structure.
Yeah. I think it's like worth a conversation with him to just, and even sometimes I feel like sometimes we need to have these conversations with our parents, with our grandmothers, and just, if he needs to do that to tell his mom or whatever, like, as someone who, like, I've had to have the conversation with my mom and say, okay, this is the kind of the goals that I have right now. So because I have this goal right now, I'm still going to always help you or my mom, whatever. But maybe this is the extent to which I can help you.
Except it's an emergency, obviously.
Exactly. Except an emergency, because these are the goals that I have. So maybe you can encourage him to have that conversation with his mom and his grandma. But I don't think it's a deal breaker. Because like you said, like, it's a good, like, like, and especially you're not saying that he's complaining about it. Like, it seems like he's willing to do it, right? So it's like,
but does he have enough? Good example. So that means he needs to double it also, right? So to be able, because I feel like the only reason it will be a deal breaker is when he's not financially 100%
himself.
He's not comfortable. But that's where structure comes in play. It can be like, okay, I'm sending you Naira, $200 a month, which is small. Like it could be $1,000 a month. Just have a structure. Then they know. Because I have that with my family, whoever I'm financially supporting, I have a structure that this is what goes in, except it's an emergency. This is what goes in. Because at the end of the day, we have goals. Yeah. And for us to get to that goals, we need to be focused.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So, worth a conversation. I wouldn't say a deal breaker. Yeah. Amazing. I love that. Okay. So we have like 3 closing out questions that I ask all the guests. The first question is, what is the best investment that you've ever made?
Apart from coming to Dubai, that counts as one.
You can, that's the one you can say that, yeah?
Yes, the best investment probably, obviously, coming to Dubai, because it has actually opened my eyes to so many things, and it has given me all these opportunities, amazing opportunities that has made me a better person. So far, I would say that, and everything else follows, yeah.
Wow, okay. That's good. Like changing your environment, that's a good one. Yeah. What is the biggest money mistake you've ever made?
Money mistake. I always think through before. A money mistake, what would that be? That's a tough one. Money mistake. What do you think? I don't know.
Have you ever bought something that you were like, why did I buy that? Or maybe you wanted to flex a bit too hard and maybe you overstepped the budget a little bit.
Because I have this philosophy that if I can buy it twice, I can afford it. If I can't buy it twice, like I can't afford it. So it has always been something. So money decisions, I tend to like...
You think through them properly. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So I like to and then I always say I don't have regrets, because whatever I have done or I'm doing is either teaching me a lesson or it's taking me to the next stage. So money decision, Oh, what could that be?
If you don't have one, I
don't think I do.
That's
I don't
good.
think I do though. But yeah. Well, obviously, yeah, we buy a lot of stuff that we don't need a lot, and I buy a lot. So yeah. Yeah, well then, yeah.
And then the last one is, what is one piece of advice that you could give to someone who is trying to build wealth? Maybe they're trying to build wealth globally as well. What advice would you give to them?
Have a structure. It helps a lot, because if you do have a structure, and also it is what it like, this is what this is going for. I feel like having a good money management is very important, because at the end of the day, we have inflows, but then we don't structure them. Okay, this is for this is for that. No matter what happens, this stays here. This is my savings. And if you're trying to build generational wealth, you need to invest. I can emphasize real estate. I would say yes, because at the end of the day, it's the earth is something that's always going to appreciate, because at the end of the day, it is real. Real estate is real, right? But then if you cannot afford real estate at the moment, invest. I can emphasize, because at the end of the day, you have goals, right? Even if you're a salary earner or you're a business entrepreneur, you have somewhere that you want to be, or you have financial goals. If you don't structure and plan towards it, you end up just being
all over the place.
Yes, all over the place. So structure and also invest is very important. I started investing when I was earning 2,500 dirhams. I would always save 1,000. No matter what I do, I save 1,000 every month. So that has also very, very much has helped me. Some people be like gifts. Before my story came out and people say, oh, she's built this. I worked for years without having an apartment, even though I could afford it. I was sacrificing so much because I knew I had financial goals. So if you're someone like that, structure and just invest. Those are my two advices for.
Amazing. This has been so good. Where can the people find you? Where can they get in touch with you if they want to get real estate or just talk to you? Let them know.
Yes. So if you're ever looking at investing in Dubai real estate, I'm your girl. I'm not just a trusted real estate broker. I'm GPS. These are my initials, by the way. Gift Pre Solomon is my full name. So GPS, I know the location, and I would always give you the best advice, even if it comes hard sometimes. And if you want to locate me, obviously my Instagram handle is official Gift Solomon, and my business account is Gifty Real Estate. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Gift. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
For having me. Yeah. Can I get my coffee now?
Yes.